when you kind of evaluate, yourself in your second stint here, and I know we talked a little bit about kind of some of the lessons you learned during your first run at UAB and the chance to kind of step back in your next couple of stops, including your last one at Stanford. What do you feel like you've, applied or learned in kind of stint 2 here in, getting a chance to kind of, be a little older, a little wiser, maybe not as many grays as I have, but, somewhere along those lines?
I think, I've said this before, allowing my staff to have more autonomy, more ownership, allowing them to coach, allowing them to lead, not doing it all myself is by far probably the biggest thing that I learned. I felt like I did a good job of implementing this year. It's always a balance, right? You got to find your balance. But working on, I think I might have said this term before when we talked, but working on the business as a head coach, not in the business. I think I did a much better job of that. The other thing this job entails now, it entails fundraising. It entails, with the new rules of college basketball, it entails contract negotiating. It includes roster management. And so it includes so many different aspects from my first time that I think not just myself, all coaches are kind of learning on the fly a little bit and trying to seek advice. And I think I was much more calm, personally, professionally through the ups and downs of the season. I asked all the guys for feedback at the end of the year. I never had done this before, but I kind of had them fill out a survey. And one of the questions was, what did you think Coach 𝐸𝐸𝐚 did well? What do you think Coach 𝐸𝐸𝐚 didn't do well? And I think one of the best answers I got from one of our players who played arguably the most minutes was that he had wrote that essentially I had managed the ups and downs of a season incredibly well. And I think that was probably the best thing I did this year, throughout the year.
That's actually, it's interesting to listen because we both know Coach Clank, and that's one of the things I used to say about, working underneath him, was seeing it's a huge barometer for keeping guys focused and not getting too high, not getting too low, trying to stay focused on, getting better each day and, being really intentional about the day and what you're trying to accomplish requires that level of kind of level focus. And so that's really cool to hear. So did you lean on some of your mentors? And I assume you have, like you said, people that you're seeking advice from and input from, but are you reaching out to some of your mentors to kind of help you open up some different ideas, or kind of keep you kind of focused on certain areas that you want to grow as a coach individually?
I think, being honest, I have to be more strategic this year of strategizing around mentors. I felt like Coach Haas, I spoke to him, my former boss, a whole lot throughout the season. He was out of it, which helped. But yeah, Coach Gary Williams, spoke to him a handful of times. There are some other coaches that I'm close with that I would call. But I think there is power in being strategic about like the mentorship. And I believe this, every coach, all coaches need coaches. And I think it's something in year 2 I'm going to try to focus on to get better. And I think more for me, just the perspective of what I went through at UAB and being able to take a step back, think about myself, and then trying to implement some of those things that I wanted to. Like I talked about the staff and the composure piece and all that. I think that was probably the most impactful thing on myself this year.